Good day, this is Ryan, and I'm here to present to you an installment of 11 Prophecies devlog. This is hopefully going to be one of a series where we talk about optimization of the game, development along the way, and a lot of fun stories that will unfold as we talk about its history. So today we're going to be focusing exclusively on optimization. We're going to make it go until it breaks, or at the very least becomes practically unusable. What we're going to basically perform here is a bit of a load test. We're going to establish our towers and get at least a preliminary defense down. Oh, got to make sure that our objective is, which is that gray thing right there, is very durable, aka nigh invulnerable for the onslaught that is already beginning. You're going to expect a lot of towers to die here. So our goal here is creating a game where you really get a sense of scope and scale. We want it to feel like, yeah, you're being assaulted by much more than you could normally handle. But with a bit of cleverness on your part, you can hopefully resolve the conflict and move and persevere through whatever you're facing. So normally out the gate, I don't know if we're ever going to have a level that truly assaults you this badly, but I think it's an interesting thing to consider later on. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. As you can see in the bottom right hand corner, that is the radar of the current paths being pursued by the enemy. Right now we have an active object count. It's kind of flickering there, I do apologize, in the thousands. We're kind of getting into the 4,000 range. Mind you, although technically speaking we're using more than one thread, the main game logic today does still reside on a single thread for both rendering and the core updates per tick. Now, as far as things go and what has been done, this has been an interesting journey for me. One of the things that, although the model game framework and C# in general can be very powerful and precise given the right conditions, one of the things that I do have to be very mindful of is memory allocation. So every time I have to allocate something, space has to be found, and frankly, I'm going to have a bad time if I truly want to throw this much at you. What you're seeing today is a long journey to refine that. One of the first things that was ever really done was bringing the pathfinding out of the main game loop thread. And that was something which is kind of funny. I thought I had done it years ago. I mean, this has been a 10+ year development process. And I was thinking, oh yeah, we got that covered. Nope, never did it. And then I sat down several months ago now and said, okay, let's make it happen. And keep all that nice so that now we can spend a lot of time just tearing through the map's current status and try to find the best way for these enemies to wreck your stuff. And that's one of the things that you'll hopefully see here, and even under scale we are still throwing things hopefully in a targeted fashion. As you can see, we've created a little bit of a C shape, which has made that area danger close if you are trying to assault from that angle, but there is a noticeable and intentional gap, which we're about to help solve a little bit. So these are the doom lasers, or at least that's what I used to call them. And they're designed to tear through enemies much like a overpowered Gundam in any anime choice of yours. Essentially, you want to see it tear through the enemy's lines because that's what's different between you and sudden death. So these guns take a long time to power up, but they do wipe out a lot of the enemy at once. So right now we are on iteration number 3 of our load testing. So each of these steps that we're taking is basically increasing the spawn rate by approximately 0.001. Or should I say decreasing, which is essentially the mean time between, or some to that effect. One of these days I'll nail down the math that I use there and try to find a proper term. But let's just say the bigger that number gets of 10, the more it's going to be thrown at once. Until we hit past 5. Past 5, it's just the regular game stuff that I was tacking onto for this purpose at hand. But yeah, now we're really starting to see it. Now we're starting to see a nice big load being placed on it. I did take a quick glance at memory consumption as one of the interesting things that I've done. So let me back up just a little bit here. A couple of things that I've done to try to minimize. Oh, that's just gorgeous. I think Matrix think the Matrix series. You may not be a fan of the last two, but boy, howdy, that fight scene with the killer robots. Hopefully no spoilers for those out there for a decade-plus old movie. But the idea here is that we really, really wanted to step up the amount of things being recycled. Recycled memory is free if we can do it right. So we created an object pool. An object pool for every bug you see on screen. Towers are a bit more complicated, but objects, well, they're very simple. You have a hitbox, an animation, health points, speed, and more importantly, a path that they follow. More on this in a little bit, but here, one of the things that we do is every time a bug dies, it enters back into the pool, so when you see more bugs appear, frankly, you're killing the same bug over and over again. You know, maybe it has a different face, a different name, whatever the case may be, but it really helped a lot. But the second thing that we did also, of course, is I believe we applied it to, I want to say we did it for projectiles as well. So every projectile in this game is simulated, so it isn't just a, scan hit, I think is the word I'm looking for. The phrase, excuse me. So in this particular case, though, there we go. Now we're really starting to see everything, Chuck. We're well over 10,000 objects simultaneously. I think we're approaching 20. Well, I have a hard time reading my own handwriting here. And, but the most recent thing that I did was realize that, oh my gosh, I'm giving these things paths, but they're all varied, and I have to give little updates to the coordinates. So I converted the commands that we've been given from a class to a struct, and it made a world of difference. Anyhow, that thing is going to chug to a halt, so thank you for your time. I do appreciate it. Please check out the demo. The particular build for this should be up soon with all the optimizations. This was running on a Zen 5800X and a 2070 Super RTX card. So plenty of headroom. Yeah, here we go. We're past number 5. And we're now looking at what is a traditional skirmish with a OP set of turrets that will frankly chew through just about anything that's coming through this gauntlet here. Alright, thanks for your time, and I hope to see you next time.